So here we are at UCD Centre for Experimental Archaeology and Material Culture. This is the investigation of the early medieval roundhouse that was burnt down in a fire in May 2019. This is March 2021, and the students, the MSc students in Experimental Archaeology and Material Culture, are investigating the site and an ironworking site for 2 weeks as part of their program, as part of their training in archaeological excavation. So one of the things we're intrigued by here is this was a bed on top of which there was at least 2 pots, maybe 3, maybe more. And when the house burnt down in May, there obviously would have been extreme heat. We have photographs of flames reaching up to maybe 8 meters in height, which completely destroyed the house. Now, here with the pottery, this is early medieval souterrain ware pottery that we had made, and we had been using inside the house for cooking and so on. And a couple of interesting things have occurred. Obviously, the pots exploded in the heat of the fire, where they sat, but there's also seems to have been movement of pieces of pottery. So you have one largely complete pot here, which has a decorated cordoned rim, and you can see the oxidation and the reduction there, and the evidence for using in cooking and so on. And that probably stood something like that, and when that pot collapsed in the fire, and subsequent to the fire, in the weeks and months afterwards, it collapsed in as this collection here. That's a base. These are bases of the pot, and these are basal sherds rising up into the body, and this is a body sherd. Interestingly enough, we also have a piece of pottery here, which you can see, which is basically the same type of pottery, but there's no decoration on it. There's no cordon. So that's a sherd, a rim sherd, in fact, from another pot, which we think is over there. Over here, we also see a base of a pot. So this is a base sherd. You can see this grass marking, which is very distinctive of early medieval souterrain ware in Ireland. It's how it was made. It was set down on a bed of grass, and it was being turned around as people were making it, hand building these pots. And you can see this is a base sherd there as well. As you can see the profile of it there. So quite a thick base pot. You can see another fragment of it over here. You can also see fragments over here. You can see that sherd there has a perforation in it, and that actually matches that pot there, which also has a perforation in it. These are features that we put into the pots. It's looking like it's a basal sherd as well. Intriguingly enough, when you look at this sherd here, that's got a cordoned decoration on it as well. This one here doesn't. There's a piece of pottery with cordon decoration on it there. Let me have a look at this one. Yeah, it's a rim sherd. It doesn't have cordon decoration. So there's one pot here which exploded and sent fragments, and this pot here, when it exploded, sent fragments all the way over to here, which is a good 2 meters away. So there's clear movement of pottery sherds in the fire, and then we also have what seems to be the remains of a pot there, but it's going back into the soil. See all that kind of crummy material? That is going to completely disappear on an archaeological site. You're not going to find these little pieces at all. They're just going to disappear. Whereas this sherd here is also actually, as you can see, starting to break down. So a low-fired pot, a pot that has been fired at a lower temperature, is more likely to break up in the soil and disappear. And then over here, this is outside the wall of the building. The wall of the building goes along somewhere around there, like that. And over here, we can see another pot, and this is very braided. We're not really sure why. I think it's more than likely this was actually lying against the wall of the house. Imagine it looked something like that. That's our building that we're building beside this one here. And this has been exposed to the weather over a couple of years, and people have walked on it and so on. So this hasn't been inside the house being used. This is basically a broken pot which has been thrown away against the wall of the building. And as you can see, it's very much more abraded, in much poorer condition. So there you go. What happens inside a big catastrophic fire with pottery? Well, it explodes, it scatters, it falls off a height, it scatters across the floor. There will be shards of a pot that are all from the same vessel, which will be in the same area, but also pieces will fly some distances during the firing event. Okay, thank you very much.